Today's podcast is a request by more than one client of mine. You see, owning a business is not all roses and profits. It means owning the hard and sometimes the yucky or the sucky parts too. So let's dig in to learn some coping mechanisms and strategies for dealing with the parts of the business that just suck. I normally name my podcast a bit more formally, but on this one, I thought let's just be really clear that and honest about the fact that there are parts of the business that just suck. In addition, it's the exact title that my client recommended. So I thought, why not? You know, the yuck part for each of us could be different. It could be something like managing people, managing projects, giving bad news, clearing up miscommunication, and also just managing parts of the business that aren't in your wheelhouse, which could be finances, marketing, or HR. No matter what, we all have areas of our company or tasks that we have to do that we would really like to just avoid. We are alike in that it's much easier to plan for, control, and manage each aspect of our firm that we like, enjoy, and feel like where we can be the most successful. I mean, we all want to do what we think we do well. I've even thought before, gosh, I just wish all the rest of this would go away so I could just do what I love to do. And maybe you've thought or said something similar as well. I love coaching. I love working with people. I love creating strategy. I love solving problems. I love educating. But as you all know, you love design, you love upholstery, you love making window treatments or whatever piece and part of it, of the business that you love. But that's not what you get to always do. There's so much more that has to happen for us to do the part that we love. So on today's podcast, I want us to look at how to identify what sucks, how to analyze it, and then how to change it. We're going to focus mostly on the HR part, but the other areas that we've mentioned, you can assess and address similarly. First, what happens is you may realize that something is a little off or starting to weigh you down in your firm, but maybe you're not 100% clear on what it is. And then one day it's like, bam, you feel like you were just sucker punched and you realize, oh my goodness, this is the part of the business that just sucks. The biggest area of difficulty as businesses grow isn't just the financial burden and monitoring, which I know many of you feel, but it's actually the people management. We're now growing teams. We now have more people involved, and it's not just you. And so what you're really kind of becoming at this point is a human resources administrator, and that's just not an easy task. You might be the manager, the leader, the HR department, and all of it wrapped up, peer group, all of it. And so maybe you've even heard the saying, management would be so much easier if people weren't involved or without the people. Why is that? Simply put, leading and managing a company well takes time, effort, strategy, and patience. And it also requires great communication skills. In the AIM with Intent methodology, we use what I call a 5E strategy. And it's simply this: educate on the job and the tasks that are needed, equip your employee with everything they need to get the job done well, set very clear expectations so they know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and in what format you want the deliverables, and empower them to get the job done and then encourage them along the way. You can tell just doing all of those 5 things for each person in your firm takes time and intention to do it, and then again to do it well. When you start to see something going off the rails, the best thing to do then is stop, make note of it, and have a conversation right then. Don't make a note about it and then ignore it or harbor irritation over it and wonder why they're not correcting it. That's what we see in family dynamics sometimes is we're irritated at a spouse, but we never tell them, so they can't correct it. And then we wonder why they keep doing what they're doing to irritate us when they never knew. Or we see our child do something that's outside of the boundaries that we've set, but we don't call them on it. And of course, once they've crossed that boundary, they're now trying to cross the next one. And we wonder why they keep testing us where we never held the boundary. And so boundaries aren't bad in business and life and family. They're there to keep us all protected. And so people can only fix or correct what they know is broken. Smaller encouragement along the way tends to be much more powerful than waiting for an annual or mid-year review where we kind of share every concern at once and just kind of dump it. That's too much to take in. And then it actually creates a resentment, or it could on, well, if this has been going on for the last 8 months, why didn't you tell me and give me a chance to fix it? This is called creating a practice of continual feedback loop, which is what you want to do. And you can see that and put it into practice by having frequent conversations, frequent check-ins, acknowledgement of the work being done, what's being done well, and then making note with the other person on what improvements you both would like to see going forward. This is a two-way communication. And this creates a team environment where your team knows what your firm is trying to do, and it helps them also understand their part in it. Because remember, we all want to know how we fit in. Here's another area around the people part of the company to consider. And most of you have heard this statement: hire slowly, fire fast. And I'm going to tell you, this is really true. Some of the issues with your team could be around having the wrong person in the wrong job. And so I need you to prepare really well before hiring. Create a job description and an onboarding plan, and then couple that with the 5E strategy. How are you going to educate them and equip them and empower them and set those expectations? Have a 30, 60, and 90-day set of goals that you monitor towards and give consistent feedback. And maybe you have a long-time employee that you're having difficulty with. I'll say go back to this. Go back and clarify the job description, and then create a performance plan for 2 to 4 weeks that will monitor and measure for improvement. And when you know that it's not going to work, let them go. It's going to be hard. It's never an easy thing that we look forward to, but it'll be best for you, the company, and ultimately them. A last area about communication that I really want to talk about is, I know right now it really sucks with either working with difficult customers or honestly just having to give difficult news to really great customers. So here are a few things to keep in mind. First, communicate often. Often can mean many things, but really it just means sharing what needs to be shared when it needs to be shared. So the right information at the right level at the right time, and doing it very frequently. Don't wait to give bad news. It just makes it worse for everyone. The second thing is communicate clearly and kindly. As Brene Brown says, clear is kind, unclear is unkind. Share the facts at the level that they need to be imparted. Don't manipulate and don't shelter if the details need to be told. It's just best to just put it out there in the best way that you can. Third, create solutions. We're not here just to give bad news. I want you to share, and I'm sure that most of you are, but share what you're doing about it. Even if monitoring is the best that you have, what we're trying to do is let them know that it matters as much to you as it does to them. And the fourth thing is to cultivate relationship. And that means show them you're a team working together. Don't let your firm and your client be pitted against each other. And so really, the more that you can do to help you and them remember that, the better off you're going to be. When we think about other difficulties outside of the teams that we're building and working with the other problems that arise, seem to be, let's start this over. When we think about other difficulties outside of the teams we're building and working with the other problems that arise, they seem to be focused on marketing and sales, finances, and operations. And this is exactly why we work on being very intentional about everything and creating repeatable processes to reduce stress in my coaching practice. That I just jump up and down on that all the time, because it is the paying attention to detail and doing something with forethought that saves us on the back end. So identify the challenges you have in any of these areas and then get help. My 3 financial courses are meant to solve some of the financial challenges that businesses have. You could also hire someone to help you manage or create the marketing strategy. And finding resources to supplement what you know that you can do or can't do within the firm will help you get the other parts done and remove some of those yuck feelings around them. Ownership of anything comes with the good and the bad. And so just acknowledging that there could be areas of your firm that make you feel terrible or that you don't like or that just suck, it's a good thing. because what we own, we can change. Identify what's causing stress, analyze it, and scheme to correct it. Try and try again. You're not always going to get it right the first time. None of us do. And don't forget, there's help available. There are books you can read, podcasts to listen to. You can hire a coach. I would love to help you. But ultimately, you've got to put action to it, because action is what solves the problem. In the show notes today, I'm going to list some resources out for you, books, applications, all kinds of things that might help you. So just make sure that you peruse that list and see if any of them meet you where you are. You can also check out our Aim with Intent methodology by going to my Work With Me page on my website at scarletthreadconsulting.com. And if it feels like a good fit for you, complete a discovery call form and let's see if we are a fit to work together. Great management and leadership are key to long-term success. Own even the sucky parts of the business, because doing so will increase your profits, and profit doesn't happen by accident.